Hi everyone, today is a full day in Nanning. I'm going to show you the view out the window. I requested a river view and they have not let me down. Okay, I think it's time for a quick geography update. Vila Reality Santo Antonio in Portugal, through Europe, through Russia, Mongolia and China, and I'm in Nanning at the moment, which is there, and I've just got that little bit to do. I'm nearly there, I'm nearly at the finishing line. I think it's pork. Wow, that's spicy. Sort of crunchy. The things I do for YouTube, it tastes like cricket. Are you ready to catch train number 22, the overnight sleeper from Nanning to Hanoi? That's the availability display on tonight's trains. Our train is full, all sleepers, but over 200 seats available as seats. Right, where do you enter the station proper? Down that way. It takes a little while, especially when things aren't translated into English, but I think I have it sussed. The train arrived 35 minutes late because we were due to have a locomotive change at the Vietnamese border. Unfortunately, there was no locomotive. Not a problem. So here we are, Hanoi. Not the busiest capital city station I've ever seen. Okay, all is clear, relatively. I had a feeling I was at the wrong station, and that's because they don't drop you off at Hanoi Station. They drop you off about 5 kilometers to the east on the wrong side of the river. So despite my better judgment, I'm going to have to get a taxi to the hotel. Right, I'm going to tell you about the border crossing. The train stopped at the Chinese border crossing point called Pingxiang, and we're there at 10:20 at night. We were herded into a fairly modern air-conditioned building, and the entire train was processed in about 20 minutes. By 30 minutes we were all back on the train. We waited for 30 minutes because one guy who was pushing his way up the line eventually got nabbed and had to sit by himself in a secure area. So it just goes to show you there is justice in the world. Anyway, we sat there, we then trundled through the darkness for about an hour, and then we arrived at Dong-Dang. Now, Dong-Dang is actually the Vietnamese side of things. We had to grab our luggage again, head out, and form an orderly queue, this time on the platform, and we're processed one by one. Now, I'm sorry, I'm being watched by a little lady here. We're processed one by one. The guy behind the desk got very confused when he couldn't find a visa for me. I told him that I had a GB passport and therefore I didn't need a visa for under 15 days, which he understood. I didn't have to show him any proof from the Embassy of Vietnam website or anything. He was okay. He just stamped it, stamped the passport, wrote the date I had to be out, and emphasised that is the date you must leave by, and I said that's fair enough. I even had my electronic ticket with Emirates from Ho Chi Minh City to prove that I was leaving on a certain date anyway. Baggage through the x-ray, and roughly we were processed each in about 5 minutes. It was so quick. Back on the train, where we kind of promptly sat there for about an hour to an hour and a half. The idea being that our Chinese locomotive would be replaced by a Vietnamese one. Unfortunately, the Vietnamese locomotive didn't appear because the return train heading from Hanoi to Nanning was running late. So of course our train can't leave until we get their locomotive. Eventually we got one, and we got into Hanoi around about half an hour late. So that was the adventure. It was actually one of the easiest border crossings I've actually had. And anyway, I've got time to kill now. I'm just waiting for the 0900 to Ho Chi Minh City to pass.